Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You might know me from my European travel work, my tours, guidebooks, and my public television travel shows. But today, I'm up to something a little different. Today, October 16, is World Food Day, and I'm here to learn and take it seriously and prayerfully with all of you, my fellow Lutherans. Even though we're all in different places, today we'll learn together about the challenges our world faces when it comes to hunger. Food production challenges, and what I call the 3 C's: conflict, corruption, and climate change. And we'll learn how we're addressing these challenges together. Why do I care? Well, as Christians, we believe that we're all children of God. Some of our brothers and sisters are hungry. I have 2 sisters. If one of them was hungry, I would move mountains to feed her. Well, in a Christian sense, we have brothers and sisters right now all across the world. Many of them are hungry, and it's just natural to want to help to feed them as well. That's why we're here, and that's why we as Lutherans are joining together to make a difference. When I'm asked to help out on this annual World Food Day celebration, I jump at the opportunity. Sure, it involves some work, but I get to learn about the exciting work our church is doing in a cause that I really care about: fighting hunger. I meet amazing people, and I get so inspired. And I just want to warn you right now, buckle up, because that inspiration can be contagious. And I hope that inspiration is coming your way. I'll be talking with guests and ELCA World Hunger partners from around the world and right here in the United States to celebrate what we're doing and explore ways we can do more. And I hope to inspire all of us to dig a little deeper to help fund this exciting work. So let's dive in. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get started with a word of prayer from ELCA World Hunger partners, supported by your generosity.
I pray that you flourish in loving one another.
I pray for the place where women is being treated as co-human to exercise her equal rights.
I pray your eyes are open to new and more impactful ways to help stamp out hunger and homelessness in our communities and in our nation.
We hope for resilience in overcoming poverty in our country and America.
I hope the important conversations happening in your communities are blessed with insight, open-mindedness, and thoughtfulness.
We pray that you find partners in this work to do this ministry in the community where God has already shown up and will show you how to show up.
Esperamos que continúe esa empatía
Con nuestra iglesia,
no solo poniéndose en nuestros zapatos,
sino caminando lado a lado.
Harapan saya, gereja lebih terbuka pada perbedaan dan menghapuskan diskriminasi.
I pray for peace for those who have not seen peace, and I pray for justice for those who have not seen justice.
ហើយខ្ញុំនឹងសង្ឃឹមថាការអធិដ្ឋានរបស់លោកគ្រូអ្នកគ្រូនិងព្រះអង្គប្រទានពរជាមិនខានសូមព្រះប្រទានពរ
We hope for equality, peace and justice.
I hope for safe and decent shelter for refugees.
Pido a Dios continúen caminando con nosotros en acompañamiento mutuo, solidario y respetuoso.
Hello, and welcome back. My first guest today is Reverend Anna Burkhardt. She's the General Secretary of the Lutheran World Federation. Reverend Burkhardt is from Estonia. She's in the Estonian Evangelical Lutheran Church, and she's the first woman and the first person from Central Eastern Europe to hold this leadership position. Welcome, Reverend Burkhardt.
Well, thank you for having me, and it's a great pleasure to be here. I'm particularly happy to have this chance to speak to our friends in the ELCA, which is a church that has been very engaged with the LWF. That matters a lot to us and to the whole communion.
I'm going to be talking with a lot of different people from around the world and in the United States as well. And I'm going to start by asking everybody just a question about their childhood. You grew up in Estonia. What was the name of the town where you grew up?
Pärnu, this is a seaside town in southwestern part of Estonia.
Okay, now can you tell me your earliest memory of traveling outside of Estonia or away from your hometown, and what was that like for you?
Well, I'm afraid this response will be a little longer because, as you know, Estonia was still occupied by the Soviet Union when I was a child, and possibilities to travel were actually very limited. I remember how I looked at the terrestrial globe in the geography lesson when I was in the 4th or 5th grade, I believe, and I was convinced that I will never be able to visit places like France or Great Britain, as they are all on the other side of the so-called Iron Curtain. And traveling without a visa, without special permission was not possible. So this all changed only when Estonia regained its independence in 1991. And today my children, of course, would not be able to imagine this situation anymore. However, coming now back to your initial question, I believe that my first travels outside Estonia were to Latvia and Russia, both of which counted as part of Soviet Union in the 1980s. And my first memories from St. Petersburg, for instance, where the extreme contrasts between the pompous palaces of Russian tsars and the rather depressive concrete blocks that covered most of the suburbs. Whereas Latvia felt much more like home, thanks to a lot of shared history.
I could talk to you all day about Estonia. I just remember the rich history you're talking about, the wonderful choirs, the passion for freedom. One thing I really remember is the delicious rye bread. What do you call it? Black bread?
Exactly.
Oh, I can't get enough.
Well, indeed, that is something quite special, I must say. I have some of it in my fridge in Geneva at the moment. And in my childhood, black bread still used to have a kind of a symbolic value, because I remember how my grandmother used to tell me that in earlier times, if a piece of bread fell down to the floor, you had to pick it up and kiss it in order to show respect. And there you can see that there wasn't always enough bread for everyone in the past in Estonia.
Oh, that's so beautiful. We can learn so much from other countries and other cultures and by getting together. And that's kind of a theme of what we're talking about today. You know, Reverend Anna, a lot of our viewers are ELCA Lutheran, but they might not know about what the Lutheran World Federation is. Can you just very briefly explain what is the organization that you're the leader of, the Lutheran World Federation?
The Lutheran World Federation is a global communion of churches, and currently we have 149 member churches in altogether 99 countries, bringing together over 77 million Christians worldwide. And ELCA is one of our member churches. And when the LWF was founded in 1947 in Lund, in Sweden, the churches came together because they wanted to be a part of the reconstruction and reconciliation following the Second World War. And what might also be interesting is the fact that at that time, only a small number of Lutherans were living in the global South. But by now, almost 50% of the members of LWF member churches are living there. So this year we are marking the 75th anniversary of the LWF, and throughout those years we have been really committed to what we call the 4 pillars of the LWF: supporting people in need, strengthening churches in mission, joint efforts in theology, and work for the unity of Christians worldwide. But we also have a very strong international humanitarian development and advocacy arm. So we are engaging on critical issues that affect society today, and are very closely also cooperating with United Nations.
I love the idea that there's a lot of Lutherans in the global South, because I'm from a Scandinavian heritage, and a lot of people think Lutherans are Scandinavians or Germans or something like that. But I understand there's more Lutherans in Namibia, in Africa, than there are in the United States. And one thing the Global South has in common is the immediacy of the fight against hunger. There are so many hungry people that we need to be aware of. And of course, Jesus made a big point about the importance of feeding the hungry. And I'm so glad that the Lutheran World Federation recently released a strong statement about the global hunger crisis. Can you tell us a couple of the key points you made and why the Lutheran World Federation is speaking out against hunger now?
Like many others, the LWF has been extremely concerned about the global hunger crisis. And when the LWF Council, which is one of our governing bodies, issued this statement in June you are referring to, more than 193 million people in 53 countries were experiencing food crisis. So if we look at the UN statistics, almost twice as many are suffering from acute food insecurity, which means that they are malnourished and don't have enough food to eat. So what we did with our statement in June was, on the one hand, to recognize that although the root causes of global hunger and food insecurity are complex, we named some concrete aspects, such as the devastating role played by conflicts, including the war in Ukraine, of course, the climate crisis, COVID-19, poor government policies and practices, economic pressures. And on the other hand, we pointed out that there is enough food and resources in the world to feed everyone. But existing systems and structures have led to a situation where a few have much more than they need and others have very little or nothing at all. So when addressing the root causes of the global food crisis, we need to address greed, overconsumption, profit-driven industrialized overproduction. And last but not least, the LWF Council actually also affirmed the important role that women play in food production and condemned the discriminatory laws and practices that hinder their rights and access to meaningful contribution.
So important. It's so sensible. It's so exciting to be part of this initiative. And Reverend Anna, I know something that's very important to ELCA World Hunger and how the Lutheran World Federation is addressing these global problems is a sensibility to be partners with people in the Global South specifically. Historically, a lot of well-educated, well-funded, white, privileged organizations have come in and said, this is how we're going to do it. I think the ELCA or the Lutheran World Federation approach to fighting hunger is more collaborative. Could you talk for a little bit about the importance in our philosophy of helping people overcome hunger, of working together and respecting local communities and local traditions?
Well, first of all, I can only reiterate that the only way to address the global hunger crisis is to do it together in partnership and collaboration. And accompanying the millions of people who are affected is a daunting task, so no one can really do it alone. Our churches and partners across the world are vital for serving people facing hunger. And I see this as an important resource that the Global Lutheran Communion can offer, because ELCA and all the other member churches have a role to play in this. We have member churches in countries that face extreme hunger, and we have member churches in countries that have plenty of food and resources. So the LWF is really a connector between these churches. And through the work of our humanitarian arm, LWF World Service, and our program on churches in emergencies, we can mobilize food and resources to feed the hungry. And as a global communion, we can also play an important advocacy role, especially in the context of calling attention to the urgent need to address the root causes of the current global hunger crisis.
Reverend Burkhardt, thank you so much for inspiring us. I got to say, next time I'm in Estonia, I'm going to have some of that beautiful Estonian rye bread, that black bread with butter on it, and I'm going to think of you, and I'm going to be thankful for the work that you're doing. Best wishes in your work as Secretary General of the Lutheran World Federation. Thanks again for your leadership as we work together to overcome hunger, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me, and I wish you all the best for the important work that you and the ELCA World Hunger are doing. Thank you so much.
The world produces more than enough food for every person, and yet 1 in 3 people around the world don't know where their next meal will come from. Even though the food system is the world's largest employer, with 2.6 billion people relying on agriculture for their livelihoods, as many as half of the world's hungry people live on farms. Working with global companion churches and partners around the world, ELCA World Hunger implements creative and lasting solutions in the work to end hunger. Your generosity makes this possible. Together, we are achieving so much more than we could ever do alone. Thank you.
Y yo luchando, hay veces voy a lavar, hay veces consigo mi jabón, un libro, mi azúcar, así crecieron todos mis hijos. No tengo dinero para dar más estudio y se fue allá. Gracias a ustedes, está apoyando ella allá para que ella aprenda más.
Desde pequeña mi papá nos dejó abandonado y él se tuvo que alejar de mi mamá. Y mi mamá tuvo que ver cómo salir adelante, cómo darnos de alimentar y cómo darnos estudios.
Viven en un contexto donde siempre les dicen que no se puede, donde siempre les ponen un rol de estar en la cocina. Ellas pueden descubrir sus dones junto con otras señoritas, escuchar el mensaje de que sí pueden, de que sí hay algo distinto en la vida para ellas.
Yo me siento bien compartir conocimientos con otras niñas porque cada quien tiene su conocimiento diferente y de cada niña que pasamos conociendo aprendemos de ellas.
Hay familia le da solo así la oportunidad cuando es hombre. Mi pensamiento mío es así, dar la oportunidad, sea hombre o sea mujer, porque en nuestra vida no hay, Dios nos ha dado la vida igual una mujer y un hombre.
Pensamos que si todos los grupos están representados en liderazgos, la mujer debería de tener más representación, porque al no tener representación en ambientes y en espacios de liderazgo, la mujer no va a tener oportunidad nunca. Al cambiar una cultura no es una cosa sencilla que se va a dar de la noche a la mañana, pero las siguientes generaciones que vienen después de estas señoritas que están acá ya van a recibir una información distinta y entonces eso va a ser un cambio generacional.
Our next guest is Dr. Sabhip Sowan, and he is the executive director of a program called Life with Dignity in the Southeast Asian country of Cambodia. Life with Dignity is a Cambodian-led organization that works with vulnerable rural communities in Cambodia. It's focused primarily on working with farmers to maintain access to land and stoke economic development through cooperative work. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rich.
It's so nice to have you with us, Dr. Sohip. And I'm going to start with a question that I've been asking all of my guests today. You grew up in Cambodia. What was the town that you grew up in?
I grew up in Kampot City, which is 150 kilometers from Phnom Penh. It is a coastal area. There is a beautiful coastal area.
Nice. Now, can you tell me your earliest memory of ever leaving your home, leaving Cambodia, or just even leaving your hometown?
Yes, of course. My leaving Cambodia is to Australia, my favorite country that I've been there, and especially visit the Opera House, Sydney and Melbourne. Then It's my favorite, and try to learn from those people.
Nice. It's nice to get away from your home, and sometime when you look at your home from a distance, you appreciate your home even more.
Yep, of course, you are right. Cambodia is my wonderful country. That is my favorite place.
You know, I love that idea. It's something a lot of Americans need to be reminded about, is everybody has their own dream and everybody loves their home. And it's just so great to get to know each other, to visit each other, and to be more thankful when you go home that you have friends in faraway corners. So we're so happy you're with us today. Now, one thing about Cambodia is it's had quite a rough history. And many people only know about Cambodia because of its rough history. Tell us just briefly about the difficult history and how things are going today.
Yes, of course, we know together that Cambodia is from the Khmer Rouge genocide. It's more than 30 years already in Cambodia, but of course, right now, compared to the last 30 years, that get much better.
Tell me about life with dignity. Why do you use that word dignity as the name of your organization?
Yes, of course, we understand that dignity, we give the definition in Cambodia context means people living together with fair and justice. When we have fair and justice, it means that people can do everything in the country. They have their right access to their agricultural product. So this is what we define dignities. And when we define that word, we hope that people, when we work, they will live in harmonizing in the community, that people can care each other, what we call community caring others.
It sounds like you have a thoughtful philosophy of smart development. And part of smart development, along with land ownership issues and education and water infrastructure and so on, would be working together in cooperatives. How do cooperatives help the farmers in your communities in the work that you do with Life with Dignity?
Yes, of course, cooperative is very important for LWD, and the cooperative, it looks like a bridge to connect from the smallholder farmer to the private sector, and also to the subnational and also national government, in order to support, to link their product to the market. That is, we have to build up the capacity with the cooperative. So we work in a smart way to ensure that the smallholder farmer, they can access to the market through the cooperative. So cooperative is like the collective center to bring the smallholder farmer to the private sector.
Dr. Salpip, when we start talking in the big, theoretical terms of building an economy and globalization and value chain, sometimes we forget there's individual real people, mothers and fathers that own the land or work on the land and just want to love their children and give them a good life. We are partnering with organizations like yours that can help rural farmers in difficult corners of the world like Cambodia. If you were to get a little extra money from ELCA World Hunger because of this event, give us an example of how that money would impact a farmer in a rural corner of Cambodia. What real difference would it make in his life because of your work made possible because of our financial support?
We believe that the people can be changed through in different ways. With the support from the ELCA World Hunger, so people can change their attitude and practice and also behavior. And people, especially for children and youth, they can access to education. With the change of the behavior and practice that we provide the capacity and build up inside of the community people, we still believe that they can change and do the development work in their community. And this is we hope that the long-term sustainability that we can change inside of those people. So with the capacity and support from us, we still hope that people can be change their behavior and also their better living condition for improve their livelihood development. That's what we believe.
Dr. Sopip, thank you so much for joining us. I always like to say that the work that we're doing through ELCA World Hunger is not a charity, it's a service. We all want to help the world be fed. And when we can help an organization like you, led by smart and caring people like you, enable Cambodian farmers to work hard and produce, we're making the world a better place and we're doing God's work. So God bless you in your work.
Thank you so much, Rick. God bless you.
Ironically, most of the hungry people in the world are farmers. Helping farmers grow more food more profitably is essential in overcoming extreme poverty. More food means more money, which fuels development. Exciting advances in agriculture have resulted in a green revolution throughout the developing world. Ethiopia is becoming a model of development thanks to governmental leadership. The country is divided into 18,000 districts, each with a farmers' training center. The government employs 60,000 teachers and coaches to make sure smart agricultural policies are implemented throughout the country.
Here we train farmers on different disciplines, on livestock production, feed management, irrigation, and water management.
Here at Abadi's Training Center, local farmers learn why it's important to plant seeds in a line rather than scattering. They learn to rotate crops with plants like alfalfa, which reinvigorates the depleted soil. And the government has studied the soil across Ethiopia and recommends just the right mix of fertilizer for each district. Smart farming includes selective breeding, so animals can survive local conditions as well as increase their production. This cow is a Holstein crossed with an African breed, hardy in the heat and giving more than double the milk. These hybrid chickens lay triple the eggs compared to the local ones. The value of these new farming techniques is evident back on Abadi's farm. While his parents subsisted on corn only, he's diversified his crops. Better seeds allow 3 harvests a year rather than 2. In the far reaches of Guatemala, this family is also working hard with coaching from an NGO, and their yield is also better than ever. A simple change, like just the right spacing of seeds and smart use of fertilizer, can make a big difference. Nearby, another non-governmental organization, mindful that dairy is a great source of protein and Mayan children are better able to digest goat's milk than cow's milk, has helped a community build a goat breeding center. This gives local families a chance to produce a carefully selected breed of goat and raise them at home to produce more milk. Villagers bring their female goat to the love shack. After a few minutes in the adjacent pen, she goes home pregnant. Soon the family will have plenty of extra milk, better nourished children, and surplus dairy products to sell in the market. ELCA World Hunger is our church's ministry in the work to end hunger and poverty around the world and right here in the United States. I traveled to Federal Way in Washington near Tacoma to visit the Light of Grace Lutheran Church and home to Dasum Bicultural Cooperation. Dasum is an ancient Korean word that means love. There's a large Korean immigrant community here that sometimes struggles to gain access to the services and resources they need. Light of Grace is a congregation that wanted to do something about that. So they got to work to come up with some solutions that work for their community. Pastor Sang-Soo Kim has been the pastor at Light of Grace for over 10 years. His wife, Pastor Jenny Kim, was just ordained this year. On Sundays, you'll find Pastors Jenny and Sang-Soo leading worship. And during the week, you'll find a whole lot more. Pastor Jenny and Pastor Sang-Soo, yep. It's so beautiful to see your church and your ministry.
So here's what he did. He's a preaching leader. I'm the meal leader. So I'm the care and I'm the support for the old people, the body health. He's care for the old the people spiritually. So we had a good divider working.
Light of Grace began Dasum Bicultural Cooperation with support from a grant from ELCA World Hunger as its outreach ministry to serve their neighbors struggling to make ends meet. During the week, the doors to Light of Grace are open to community members to come and learn a new skill, make goods to sell or take to their families, and have a hot meal together that tastes like home. On Saturdays, they sell those goods at the Federal Way Farmers Market and bring joy to all they meet there while making a little additional income for themselves.
Okay, I can give you a little bit of sample. This is bracken.
Bracken?
Bracken the fern.
Oh, bracken. A bracken fern. Oh, and you picked this here in Washington?
In Washington, that's the best one.
Whoa.
Yeah, is it right?
I like it. I never knew that was possible. Tell me what this is.
This is mung bean with all kind of vegetable. We just grilled it and made it all vegetable inside and beef just sliced it.
So it's like a vegetable pancake with mung beans.
vegetable pancake.
And how do we say this in Korean?
Nokdu bindaetteok.
Nokdu bindaetok.
Nokdu bindaetok. People like that.
Oh, I like it.
This is my favorite.
So people have a good memory of this.
Yeah, that's a good history of the pancake.
Very nice. Well, now I have a memory of this too.
I have a good memory for my mom.
Oh, that's beautiful. Very nice. So this is a busy place.
Yes. Our church is not only the worship for here, we have sewing classes. We have a piano lesson. We have English classes.
Raven. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord and taking some upon all the clean animals.
Yeah.
And also we have computer classes.
난 그래서 그거 잊어버리면 안 되는 지금
그리고 뭐 교회 이제 뭐.
And also we are very busy making cook everything.
Good.
So yeah.
Very busy every day of the week.
Yeah, it is busy.
Something I really love about coming to Dasum is seeing people who are like my parents just light up when they see the foods and smell the smells of their home culture and their cooking, and it makes me happy to see as well because this is something you can't easily find.
Tell me about the community. I didn't understand there are so many Korean people in this area.
Yeah, in the Federal Way we have the 100,000 people of the living here, so big population of the Korean people. And also we have many churches around here, the Korean church. Every corner we do have some.
Yeah.
But I believe they don't have any much for this kind of system. Elderly people can come over, they can spend time and they just learn for the life skill for here. So our church welcome to everybody.
This is a beautiful way for a church to reach into the community. What is Dasum? What does this name mean?
다솜은 한국어로 하면 오래된 한국말인데 사랑이에요. 그 사랑은 우리 남편은 spiritually 사람들을 이렇게 설교하면서 그분들을 성경으로 가르친다면 저는 사람들의 몸과 마음을 살찌우는 일을 해주고 있는 거예요.
Pastor Jenny, I've spent all morning here, and I'm so impressed by all of the energy. And it's much more than just people who need something receiving the love. There's the joy of giving. Tell me a little bit about the joy of giving.
우리는 돈을 버는 단체가 아니라 이 돈을 ELCA로부터 받아서 월드 헝거로부터 받아서 이것을 씨앗으로 더 많은 일들을 만들어서 이것을 나눠주길 원해요.
There's a lot of people watching, and if they're like me, they're inspired right now. Is there a message you would like to give to people who are thinking of supporting ELCA World Hunger?
ELCA World Hunger를 지원하시는 분들께 드리는 메시지.
여러분이 주신 조그만 그리고 그 많은 사랑이 여기서 이렇게 꽃을 피웠습니다. 그리고 우리는 또 여기서 열매를 거둬서 나눌 것입니다. 그럼 여러분들 많이 관심 가져주시고 배고픈들에게 손을 내밀어 주시면 너무 감사하겠습니다.
Pastor Jenny, here at the Light of Grace Lutheran Church, Federal Way, Washington, I just want to thank you and your wonderful husband, Sang-Sung, for the beautiful ministry that you've got. And it's a joy for me to learn about it, and I'm sure it's a joy for ELCA World Hunger to support ministries like yours. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you. 감사합니다.
Dasum Bicultural Cooperation is a vivid example of what ELCA World Hunger accomplishes around the world, and it's a reminder that addressing the root causes of hunger requires more than just food. Your generosity supports solutions that feed the whole person, solutions through education, healthcare, climate-smart agriculture, training for a new income stream, and a whole lot more. It's one of the many ways that together, through ELCA World Hunger, we can help make the world a better place. Hello again. I'm joined now by Mark Jansen. Mark is a lifelong Lutheran, and he's the president and CEO of Blue Diamond Growers. That's a farming cooperative that produces all our favorite almond products. Welcome, Mark, and thanks for being with us.
Hey, Rick, it's an honor to be here on World Food Day.
You know, Mark, our viewers just watched me visiting a ministry that ELCA World Hunger supports near Tacoma in Washington. Where are you joining us from today?
Well, I'm just south of you, Rick, here in sunny Sacramento, California, world headquarters to the 1,800 team members at Blue Diamond.
Oh, my 1,800. We're going to talk about cooperatives because that's just amazing to coordinate all of that. But first, I'm going to ask you the question I've asked each of my guests today. Can you share your first memory of traveling, either outside the country or far from your hometown?
In the spring of 1989, I was studying East-West business relations at the University of Copenhagen. And on weekends and at any free time, I was traveling, particularly throughout Eastern Europe and the former Soviet Union. And I learned very particular things like the names of Politburo members and how to sell Pepsi Cola into the USSR and trade it for Stolichnaya vodka, and then bring it back to the West and sell it for hard currency. By the fall of that coming year, as you know, the Berlin Wall fell down, and much of what I learned was obsolete, but the love of travel, the life skills, and the friendships have endured ever since.
And it sounds like a little bit of an affinity for cooperative work. I mean, there was some good stuff out of the attempt, the experiment in the socialist world. Tell me about co-ops, because that's sort of integral to your whole approach to business and production. What is a co-op, and why are you enthusiastic about that?
Yeah, co-ops are one of the oldest forms of organizing and for creating a business. And A marketing co-op such as Blue Diamonds was formed 112 years ago because these small individual family farmers were not getting fair grades for their almonds. They were being cheated on pricing, and they weren't able to create a sustainable economic value to their farming. By forming together and creating mass, they've been able to create something that allows them to sell in 95 countries around the world, create a $1.6 billion business and have the economic means to pass, these small 75-acre farms from one generation to the next.
So we're talking about this today, Mark, because the ELCA World Hunger program funds co-ops all over the world and supports co-ops, because this is a way to empower people and deal with the reality that half of humanity is small family farms, and they need to get into the global economy, but they need to cooperate and in order to be competitive. How does your faith shape the work that you do with farmers and with co-ops?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned earlier, I consider my work a calling for me, and for, frankly, the team members, in the sense of purpose we have. And it certainly goes beyond that idea of who we work for on the small family farms. It includes, hey, we're marketing a healthy whole food to countries around the world. We have a product that's in our almond milk that is the world's most climate-friendly almond milk. And then beyond that, we're able to do that in a way that we reward our growers for sustainable farming practices. We pay them more for those sorts of things. And we also provide a really ethical place where our team members can come to work, be challenged, appreciated, and really bring them whole selves to their employment, and back to align with a unique sense of purpose. And so that's part of how I see that faith coming to life, in that we're able to think holistically about the impact we have with all the stakeholders, our employees, the communities we live in, our growers, the environment, and that's something we're all proud of.
So that's so interesting to talk about your faith and your ethics and your passion for cooperative production and the beauty of producing food. Let's talk about your philanthropy.
Sure. Yeah, so I would say that I try to bring both my head and my heart to our giving. And in fact, my wife and I, as Lutherans and parents of 3 children, we have a lot of heart for the mission of ELCA. And that's important. But for us, it's more than that. And it has to be that there's effectiveness there. And so we also have looked into the efficiency of ELCA and ELCA's work. And for us, it's that marriage of the head and the heart that allows our times and our talents to be used in the best possible way. Because I have to admit, I'm as a CEO, I'm all about impact, and I can see that impact with the ELCA.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I know that we're going to love our neighbors, but there's also, it's a twofer. We also want a world that's more stable, and this is an investment. And when we fight hunger effectively, we not only love our neighbors in a Christian way, but we make our world a more stable place and a better place for future business, for our children to live and raise their kids in. And it's just a head and a heart sort of partnership there. And I'm so thankful the ELCA really has a pragmatic, practical, smart approach to climate smart agriculture and agriculture in the global South. And how can we effectively fight hunger? What's one thing about how the ELCA fights hunger that resonates with you?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that I'm attuned to is whether it's hunger or disaster relief, the ELCA is there and quickly on the spot, but it's not just that immediate reaction. It's that they build a long and sustainable impression after the immediate disaster is over. For example, in Kentucky and the disaster relief that happened recently, the ELCA is still there and working in the communities because the need doesn't go away after the TV cameras leave. It's something that has to endure. And I think that sense of effectiveness and continuity and having a long-term vision for what can be accomplished, That's something that goes back to what I think is important.
Mark Jensen, thank you so much for joining us, and best wishes in your co-op almond farming and in your Christian philanthropy as together we fight global hunger. Thank you so much, and best wishes.
Thank you, Rick. Thank you for your leadership on World Food Day.
It's a great, great day. It's a good day. Get up. Can't you see the sun shining? I woke up and I rolled out of bed. Got dressed and I left at 10. Check my nails, looking good. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Oh yeah. I know this'll be the day. Everything will be okay. I kiss my cares all away. It's gonna be a good, good day. It's gonna be a good, good day. Good, good day. I think it's finally all gonna go my way. Go my way. Rain or shine, no, I don't mind. This day is mine. I'm gonna chase all those gray clouds away. It's gonna be a good day.
My name is Kanchan Bharti. I live in Madhwani village. I am 25 years old. I have 2 sons. My youngest son Ritik was malnourished. I got him admitted to the hospital. He was pretty weak, but I didn't know that he was malnourished at the time.
When Ritik came here with his mom, he was severely malnourished. When we tested him further, we found that he had severe malaria.
साथ ही साथ
Badar Hospital, a ministry of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in Madhya Pradesh, was established in 1958 and began as a small clinic. The hospital now sends teams into the villages to educate villagers in matters of health, nutrition, hygiene, and farming.
Most farms have reduced in sizes to maybe less than an acre. So, and this less than an acre has to provide for a family of 2 grandparents, a family, a husband and wife, and children. So about 7 to 8 members have to be fed by this land. It's not happening. In our small little district, they were saying that we had close to 700 to 800 identified grade 4 children with malnutrition.
पहले हमको पता नहीं था कि वे बच्चे को कैसे खाना खिलाना. We didn't know what kind of food was best to feed the child. When we came to the hospital, we learned so much about nutrition, and we are following what we learned.
Before, patients at the hospital were not provided meals along with their treatment. They were supposed to source their own meals. But through the Tripti project, we started providing people with free meals, which helped to alleviate their conditions considerably. For malnourished children like Ritik, we provide special meals to help them recover.
At the hospital, they talked to us about keeping our kids clean and healthy by bathing them every day, having them wash their hands, cutting their nails, keeping our surroundings clean, and feeding them a variety of foods such as eggs, lentils, rice, yogurt, and porridge. Since then, Ritik's health has improved. He has gained weight and he recovered from malaria.
I thank ELCA for supporting a program especially focused on a bright and healthy future for women and children.
With those resources, we can reach out into communities and people can
can get the benefit and get a chance, maybe just a small chance, but a chance at a life that is, where they can live it in fullness, where they can live it without having to worry about, the next meal.
Earlier, there were several children within the area of the Tripti project who died due to malnutrition. Ever since the Tripti project focused on children's nutrition, not one child in that area has lost their life due to malnutrition. My wish for the future is that children will never have to face death due to malnutrition and will lead healthy lives.
I'm happy that I came to Padar Hospital, and I have learned so much that I will take with me back home.
Okay, now I'm joined by Pastor Dan Rift, who's the director for the ELCA World Hunger and Lutheran Disaster Response Fund. Dan, so good to get together with you as we do every year. And, I've been asking everybody, and I'll ask you, where were you born and what would your first memories be of traveling outside of our country?
Sure. I was born in Columbia, Missouri, in the shadow of the University of Missouri. But my first chance to travel outside the country was not until I was 15 years old. And my father, who had left Austria in 1938, decided that it was safe and the right time to bring the family back to Austria. So he had fled as World War II was starting. Our family was not on the right side of what was going on in Austria at the time. And so he and his three sisters left for different countries. And this was his homecoming, and he wanted his kids to go along with him.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's some family history.
It is. And it forms the basis of, I think a lot of people's travel, for us to understand the importance of seeing the world from various perspectives. So I'm going to turn the table on you, Rick. Where were you born, and what was your first opportunity to travel outside the country?
I guess it's only fair. I've been asking everybody else that question. I was born in California. My dad was in the Army. It was based at Barstow near Death Valley, but I only lived there for 2 months. My family's been here in Seattle for over 100 years now. My first memory being far from home was when my parents took me over to Europe. I was 14 years old. We visited the piano factories in Germany because my dad was starting to import pianos from Germany. And then we went up to visit relatives in Norway. And I'll never forget, with our relatives in Norway, we went to the big park behind the palace, the Frogner Park, filled with works by Gustav Vigeland. And it was just an amazing gathering of families. And I was just a 14-year-old twerp. And I remember my parents were just loving me, what seemed inexplicably, undeservingly. They were compromising hugely to take me to Europe on this first trip. And I just felt, as they were looking down at me in that park, how much they loved me. And then I remember I looked out in that park and it was speckled with other families. And all of those families had parents loving their children as much as my parents loved me. And it hit me. It hit me as a little 14-year-old. We are all equally precious, beautiful children of God on this planet. And we're all just as deserving, just as precious. And that was a little souvenir I took home that I've been thankful for ever since.
What a gift to be able to realize that at that age and to understand this larger community of God's family with all its variety. Thank you for sharing that. So, Rick, I'm going to follow up with another question, which is you've journeyed with us now for a while with ELCA World Hunger. What stands out to you, and how has that been different in your life?
I'm always impressed by how our church's World Hunger program is smart development. It's partnering thoughtfully and respectfully with other cultures. It's empowering women. It's climate smart. It has a great balance between helping out here in the United States and lots of works in the global South. And what I really like about ELCA World Hunger is that we are not just flying in and flying out with our good meanings and our thoughtfulness. We are partnering with existing Lutheran churches in over 60 countries. And that's where we are empowering organizations that are already there. They're going to be here. They've been there. They're well connected. They understand the culture, and they're deeply rooted. This is the smart and thoughtful and effective way to help out, is by partnering with local organizations, and for Lutheran churches to help Lutheran churches do God's work. It just makes so much sense to me. So Dan, the fight against hunger was on an exhilarating trajectory until just a few years ago. And now with climate change, with Ukraine, with COVID, hunger is ticking up a little bit. What concerns you most about the future of this work?
As you said, it's critical now as it's been in decades. The kind of challenges that we're starting to see around the world are things that are harkened back to 40 or 50 years ago. And we start to see some of the difficulties of food production. We see some of the difficulties of access to food, the ability to live in a changing climate, to change farming practices. And so we've really concentrated on this season around the concentration of where can food come from? How can changes be made in agricultural practices? How do people gain access to land, or can make their best opportunity in the marketplace for their future and for their family's future? And so we've been calling that the Global Farm Challenge. This kind of focus on the promise of agricultural opportunity that happens around the world through people's sweat equity and through the opportunity for people to really live into community.
Well, okay, Dan, I hear you. I've been inspired. I've been paying attention for the last hour. This has been an amazing educational experience. How now can we make a difference?
Well, we have a group of people under this Global Farm Challenge around this World Food Day that have committed $100,000 as a challenge to encourage others to give. And this will be the opportunity. We will have information at the end of this session of how you can support ELCA World Hunger, and particularly in this time to match that $100,000.
Wow. Well, that's exciting, but $100,000. I think we need to do better. The opportunity is there. There's people that are primed and ready to do this work for us. As I mentioned, it's not a charity, it's a service. And I want to empower these people. So I think what I'd like to do, and I hope it's okay, but that's a match, but I'd like to just match that match right now. I've inspired myself, I guess. I'd like to give $100,000 also, and I'll invest $100,000, and that'll make our World Food Day Challenge $200,000. And that means if people respond as generously as we hope they will, we'll be able to empower ELCA World Hunger right now with $400,000. Who knows? We could raise $500,000. You know, we are so. I'm just. We've got to make this happen. And I know there's a lot of good, caring people tuning in right now. We've had so many vivid examples of what we can get done if we have the financial wherewithal. And I know we're so richly blessed in so many ways. And I'm so inspired by the people we've met today. I mean, think Reverend Anna Burkhardt, and how we're working in concert with the Lutheran World Federation. What is that? 148 national Lutheran church organizations? No, 149, because Ukraine just joined. There's Dr. Suan Sabhip with the Life of Dignity Project in Cambodia. Wow, empowering farmers to be successful and small business people. The great work being done with Pastors Jenny and Sang-Soo Kim, just right here south of Seattle in the Korean community, in partnership with the ELCA World Hunger, and so much more. Thanks again to all of you for making a difference. If you want to give your love traction and do it in a Christian context, there's no better investment. You know, there are a lot of prayers out there, and this, the work of ELCA World Hunger, the work we're doing right now, is how prayers are answered. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much to everyone here for attending this wonderful celebration tonight. When we come together as a church community, we are truly able to achieve incredible things. Thank you in advance for supporting ELCA World Hunger with your gifts by sharing this video with a friend and in prayer for our shared ministry. And to our fabulous host and my friend, Rick Steves, for hosting us today and for the incredible generosity of doubling the matching gift to $200,000. Please join me in prayer. God, our Creator, you have ordered seed time and harvest, sunshine and rain. Give to all who work the land fair compensation for the work of their hands. Grant that the people of this and every nation may give thanks to you for food, drink, and all that sustains life. May we use with care the land and water from which these good things come, and may we honor the laborers who produce them, through your Son, Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.